All right. Good evening, all, and welcome to our webinar today. And I know we're having people joining us from different parts of Africa. So evening, night, afternoon, you're all welcome. So today's webinar is titled Living and Studying in the UK. That's Scholars Guide for Living and Studying in the UK. So we are actually live from Facebook. So I want to apologize if you can't see the interpreter on Facebook. When the webinar is over, we'll upload the recorded version with the interpreter on it. So just bear with us. For those of us that on Facebook that actually needs to see use an interpreter, we advise you to come and join us here on the Zoom platform. Okay, so today we have four speakers with us. We have PhD scholars and we have MSc scholars, and this program is organized by Shevlin and Commonwealth scholars. So we're here to help scholars going to abroad, possibly for the first time, to have a smooth journey, a smooth transition during your studies, because it can be quite challenging leaving your comfort zone and going to a new place. So we'll have each speaker speaking on a particular section. If you have questions, we advise you to drop them on the chat. If you want a particular speaker to attend to a particular question, you can as well tag them on it, just put their names. Then at the end of the final section, which is the fifth speaker, we'll go into our question and answer segment. And also we'll be launching an ebook soon, because obviously we cannot exhaust everything on this webinar. So hopefully soon, by September, the ebook should be out, where we capture more details and things that also future scholars can use. Okay, so we'll have our first speaker, Portia, speaking on preparing for your trip. We have second speaker, Dr. Tim, speaking of arriving in the UK. We have our third speaker, Sipan, speaking about university life. Of course, then we have Taiwo, last speaker, fourth speaker, handling community, social life gathering, and networking. And of course, me, final speaker, I'll do a quick summary on mental health, weather, and some other things before we go into our question and answer section. And in the course of this webinar, we'll be sending a form across to get your feedback, because the aim is to make sure that we help you, we make the impact. So if there are things you don't like or things you believe we will have done better, just fill the form and we'll get back to you. And why we also advise you should fill the form is because when the ebook is out, we can get in touch with you through your email. So please do not send or use a fake address. So you can actually benefit from this webinar and future webinars. Okay, our first speaker today will be Precious Ebere. Precious Ebere is a 2020 scholar. She's also a mentor, somebody call her Africa mentor. Yeah, she met a lot of people, and she's from Cardiff University, doing an MSc in social and public policy. And she's also the co-founder of dotakeaction.org. So if you have time, you can also go and check the website. So she'll be handling issues based on preparing for your trip, because 1 year or 3 years, depending whether it's PhD or MSc, is a long time. So there are things you need to get yourself equipped with. So she'll be handling that. And please, our speakers, we have 12 minutes each. Let's maximize our time. So Precious, I'll be handing over to you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good day. I'll say good day because I believe a lot of persons are connecting from various parts of Africa, and it's really a pleasure to be here today and share from my experience. So today, I won't be sharing any slides. I will just be speaking from my experience so far. And I understand that for every scholar who is making, who has made it to this particular phase, you must have actually passed through the whole daunting essay writing and interview. And I would say congratulations to all scholars who are in the phase of preparing for their trip come September. Okay, my audio. I think I would have to disconnect my Bluetooth. Maybe it's not as possible. Hello, can everyone hear me now? How is my audio?
We can hear you.
So I just disconnected my Bluetooth. Fine, thank you. So I will be discussing today on preparing for your trip. And a lot of things comes to mind when you're preparing for your trip, you know. And first thing I always tell scholars are do your own personal research. While of course events like this are very important for you to know or get a step ahead about your journey, it's best to do your proper research on the local culture you're getting into, the customs, the food, the laws, the living arrangements, and the climate. You see, most persons actually travel out without preparing for the real culture shock. And they build lots of expectations on their head based on images they might have seen on Instagram, Facebook, influences their thoughts about what studying abroad means. It's a whole lot of different experience studying abroad yourself. And today, I'll first of all talk about preparing yourself for the British life. You know, once you're coming to the UK, you know you're going to be meeting a lot of diverse people. Of course, the UK is filled with diverse set of people from various culture, but then the British life is one of the key life you will experience in the UK. And you can't talk about the British life without talking about the weather and their clothing. And this leads me to my first point today, the weather and the clothing. So one mistake a lot of scholars make is actually when traveling, they come with a lot of clothes from their country, maybe to save cost, beautiful. But then I actually made that particular mistake wherein I came with a lot of clothes from Nigeria. And coming here, I never prepared for the weather. I never knew, oh, we had something like spring, summer, autumn, winter, and thereabouts. So the clothes I brought in from Nigeria did not fit into the weather. And that is why I really advise a lot of persons that the weather in UK is really controversial. Like you can't really get it so well if you don't really know what time different weathers actually occur. So I would advise everyone coming to the UK, do not spend your money getting clothes, right? Spend your money in getting your local food stuff. And when you come to the UK, you prepare for the weather based on what you currently see. And the good thing here is for clothing in the UK, they are very bit affordable. We have lots of shopping hacks that I would really advise a lot of persons. Of course, I'll talk about that during the course of our Zoom call. So I would like to actually introduce different weathers and different seasons this actually weathers happen. So we have a very particular weather that happens between March to May, and we call that the spring weather. Now, sometimes like the temperature is actually very shady because sometimes you can see it's 17 degrees centigrade, 18 degrees centigrade. It depends, right? It can be very cold and wet. Then sometimes it falls between 6 centigrades and 10 centigrades. So we have to actually study these key weathers because you might actually be going out for a very important course or study and then you meet a certain weather condition, it changes. But because you're not prepared for it, you might not be having the proper clothing that will really prepare you for that particular weather, and then you get stuck. You can actually catch cold, get sick, because the weather is something really, really that tells on your own personal health. We also have summer, which everyone really, really is looking forward to. Of course, when people tell you, oh, I'm looking forward to summer, summer is actually the period between June to August where we have lots of sunny days. You can actually go to the beach, have fun with your friends outdoors and all of that. But don't get it. Like I said, this weather in UK is actually unpredictable. It could be summer, but then you could see rain. You could see the weather turning very cold, right? So these are something that you cannot really predict in UK, but you have to prepare for them ahead of time. And for each weather, they come with different clothing, right? Don't have a systematic clothing for all weather. So prepare to shop for different weather. Prepare to shop for the spring weather. Prepare ahead of time to shop for the summer weather, the autumn weather. For the autumn weather, it happens between September and November. Yeah. So it's a bit warmer. Yeah, it's a bit warmer. But like I said, it's unpredictable. That's one key thing you need to know. It's unpredictable. Then the winter is where, oh my God, it's really, really cold. You must come up with your suits, different sort of clothing. You have to pad lots of layers to get yourself warm. And sometimes it could actually drop to 0 degrees centigrade. Is that terrible? Is that terrible? So if you're not cold compliant, please get your hot rub, right? Call with them a lot, because the mistake I actually did was I did not come with some of these hot creams that can keep me warm inside my clothing. So I had to struggle with the weather. It could sound very simple and easy. Oh, it's the weather. Oh, I can cope, right? But it's not really as easy as it sounds, right? That is why I had to start with that. Because if you're preparing for the British culture or the British lifestyle, you must first put weather in the picture. Now, the next thing is, oh, of course, you've prepared for that. You came for your studies, yeah? And the next tip is how to navigate through your costing, your cost lines, how to actually get registered into your course and all of that. I will not be giving so much in depth in this particular section, because your school actually have done open days and they have student unions. Please, if you don't know who your student union rep is, try to get that. You can get these information on your school's website, right? And these school reps actually have, and they really play a very key role to helping you navigate through the school structure, what to require during your registration platform, the courses. For us, we actually studied online, right? So we used mostly Zoom. We used Panato, we used Learning Central. So most schools in the UK use different learning platforms. So you must be very conversant with your learning platform. And of course, your student union rep would actually help you or guide you through that particular phase. What I'm not going to be talking so much about this is different school has their particular registration style, right? So I cannot give a generic style because I might not know the climate in Oxford University or the climate in Birmingham University. I'm currently studying at Cardiff University, and I just told you different learning platforms we use. The key issue that I actually faced when I got into UK was I found it very difficult to navigate through various platforms. So trust me, every school has lots of platforms. And you might think, oh, they just use Zoom. No, we have a place where you can upload your courses, where you can read your course modules, where you can actually listen to recorded courses and all of that. They have different platforms. So you have to know that this exists and ask your key rep or your personal tutor to actually guide you through this particular part. Now we're done with that particular phase. I'm trying to be very fast to keep up with my time and allow my colleague actually delve into other important matters about today's meeting. The next important part is confirming your accommodation. You see, it is very dicey because, coming from Nigeria, you have to use the website, the school's website, and other accommodation platforms to check what accommodation is suitable for me, right? What choices do I have? Now, your choices really depends largely on your school, your university, your budget, your monthly budget. So is your scholarship body, or are you a personal funder? Are you funding yourself? So these things are the things to put into consideration when looking for student accommodation. And I'll be taking you through different student accommodations you should expect in the UK. It's the same everywhere, right? But then the pricing, the costing varies. Now, you see, a lot of persons actually have issues going online, seeing accommodations, and then signing a contract with the landlord or the agency that actually relegates those houses to you. And what we don't understand is cost varies. Now, I'm sharing all this because these are the hard mistakes I actually fell into, and I had no one to guide me. And that is why this ebook is really important. Like, once this ebook is out, it's going to serve as a key hack to all your stay in the UK. It's going to help you to navigate different aspects of your study in the UK. And not just navigating them, it helps you enjoy your experience, because the goal for studying in a different country is to enjoy that experience to the fullest, not management. So back to the kind of accommodation you should expect as an international student. First, we have what we call halls of residence, right? So in every school, right, every school has what we call a hall of residence. These are buildings owned by the school. So the school gives you a 1-year contract to sign, right? And gives you different options. It could be ensuite with bathroom, or it could be one that's actually shared with a communal area, right? Wherein you could actually share the bathroom, or you can actually share just the kitchen. So it depends on different hall of residence available in your school. And like I said, the cost is actually varies. So you need to actually balance the cost for your accommodation based on your budget. Even though you're being sponsored by a scholarship body or you're being self-funded, you need to actually balance that particular things. So we also have a different accommodation option called flats and houses. So for flats and houses, you have to share different you have to live in the same building, but you have to share key areas. So it's more like a flat, just where we have self-con or a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom in your own country. We have similar thing here. So it's called flats or houses, wherein the school has no connection to this landlord. So this landlord operates individually, right? So if you're signing a contract with them, you need to have a guarantor that would guarantee that, oh, you can actually be able to pay for your rent. Or, no, definitely, it's actually a very compulsory thing. You must have a guarantor to help you sign on your behalf to ensure that, oh, you have someone who is in the UK and can actually reference you on that particular purpose. So that is one thing. That is why a lot of students, because they might not have someone in the UK, they actually go for halls of resident or self-catered halls by the school, because the school do not need any guarantor. That is just the difference between them. But then for those flats and houses, they are way cheaper, right? So for you who is, let's say, an international student who is self-funded, you would want to go for flats, right? And these flats, right, it's really very affordable for this set of, or this category of people, to help them manage their costs. And beautiful thing is the structure for paying your house rent here. So you pay monthly, weekly, or annually based on your contract. So I always advise every scholar coming to the UK to first go through every contract you're signing, because lots of students actually fall into different traps. You might get into a house and might not have the full functionalities that you think they should have, right? And when you get into those houses, you can't opt out because you have signed a contract, a 1-year contract or a 6-month contract. And once you get into those contracts, you can't go out. You must stay till the end of your rent tenure. For example, where I'm currently staying, I'm staying in an ensuite, so in a studio where I pay £620 per month. Right, that's really ridiculous, right? So when I go online, because no one could guide me on how to get accommodation or sort my accommodation as an international student, I went what I saw online, right? And how to sign a 1-year contract in a student accommodation outside the school. Beautiful, I had lots of facilities in the building, but it was very expensive, really expensive, right? And you can just do the conversion rates in Naira. So we don't want to do that conversion rate. And what I really advise a lot of scholars is, please, once you come to the UK, drop every conversion rate, drop it down. Like, you don't want it to convert. Like, once you convert, it gives you mind issues. So drop those conversion rates. So back to my point. So I paid $620 while staying in the UK into 6 months. I discovered I could pay as low as $350 for shared flats. And trust me, I could have been saving a whole lot for myself, even though I am a funded student. So you can imagine if a self-funded student fell into this particular scenario I just got myself into, man, you have to work your ass out to pay these bills. And sadly, you can't owe your landlords. Like, you can't owe any landlord, a UK landlord, just 1 day by 1 day. You don't do that.
Okay, I'm sorry, Precious. Could you please round up, please? Thank you.
All right, fine.
Just a minute, please. Thank you.
All right, man. Okay, fine. Sadly, I might not really cover a lot of things. I was just touching to how to set up a bank account, then how to figure out public transportation, working in the UK, shopping. So I'm just going to go through some lot of things you just need to know about shopping. You need to know key hacks when you want to shop. You have key shopping places that are very cheap for international students. You could shop at Aldi. We also have for offline shopping, we have Aldi, Lidl, Asda, Tesco, Morrison, Sainsbury. We have lots of them. So these are places where international students actually do their shopping. It is very, very affordable and cost saving. Now for your bank accounts, right? We have various banks, and you do not want to fall into a trap wherein you open an account that would not really serve you as a student. So we have lots of student-friendly accounts I would advise you to open, which I did. I did Lloyd's. Okay, I also went for Santander. You can open different accounts of your choice, right? You can go for Santander, you can go for HSBC, you can go for NatWest, you can go for, which other one comes to my mind? Nationwide, yeah. So these are key banks students actually work with, but they have their own pros and cons. So you have to choose the lesser evil you can live with, yeah. And lastly, for transportation, yes, I want to talk about transportation. I have lots of hacks for transportation. That is why I would commend everyone to please sign up for this ebook. I'll be giving out a lot of information, lots of hack, I repeat myself, lots of hack that will help you save enough cash, both in travel, in shopping, in accommodation, mention it. It will be very, very rich. And I want you all to actually look forward for that particular ebook. Lastly, working in the UK, yes. I'm so sorry, I'll have to round up. But working in the UK, every scholar wants to actually get a job in the UK to actually sustain themselves while studying in the UK. We have lots of jobs that students can actually involve themselves. Because of the limited time, right? We are all given, every student is given 20 hours per week maximum, right? And for you to actually get key jobs or jobs that can pay you higher, you must have more than 20 hours. But then as students, you have some jobs you can get yourself into. We have lots of jobs with Aldi, store picking, care jobs, you have consultancy. Let's say you can be, if you have different skills, you can consult with your skills and all of that. I would not talk so much about that. You can see so much information about how to work in the ebook. And I think that's for it. Now I'm going to just say, just look forward to the ebook. It's going to give you a lot of hack. And thank you so much for coming on board, and feel free to follow me on my social media, ask questions. I'll be there to guide you through that particular part. Thank you so much once again, and do have an amazing stay in the UK. I can't wait to welcome you guys and cheers you as you live an amazing life in the UK. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Pasha. That was really amazing. We're grateful for your time. Please, like she said, we'll advise that you sign up on the feedback form so that you can get the ebook, because you cannot exhaust everything here on the webinar. I want to apologize to our other speakers because of time. Would you please try as much as possible to pass the point within the limited time we have. So next on our list is Dr. Tim. He's doing international public health, University of Liverpool. I think Jomo's Liverpool, yes. And he'll be talking about arriving in the UK. So please just listen, and Dr. Tim, I believe you will manage our time very well. So thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Matilda, for that. And one of what I always don't like being the second speaker, because the first person sets a pace that you cannot keep up with. Pressure sets so many amazing things that are really important as you're planning to come. And almost every one of us has an experience with something that she said. We got into those accommodation contracts, and after we regretted, you cannot cancel it, you have to stay. We had to start spending so much on so many things, and then realize after. And she already mentioned a few things I was supposed to talk about when you arrive here about transportation. So I'm going to just have a run through on transportation, the different options that are available. We're going to look at the shopping as well, or just mention some things about shopping, the bank accounts, and maybe your health related things when you come here. So for transportation, one thing that is good about the UK is the transport system. It's so wide. The network is just so wide that you can go to wherever you want, however you want to. There is just roads and different options that are available in all the cities that makes transportation easy. We have the taxis, the traditional taxis that have been there. And one thing that is peculiar about taxis is you have different taxi operators. At each major station, maybe a bus station or a train station, you always find these taxis that are at the exit or the entrance waiting for people when they arrive to take them to wherever they are going to. And it's very important to use them. And you have other taxi services. Uber is there as well. You can book it online. You can get the Uber app. There are other taxi apps for local taxi services which are available. And you can pay both online and with cash. The good thing is you can do that. So when you arrive, once you're clear about where you're going to, you can either decide if it's easier for you to get a taxi or you get that what we're going to the bus. The bus, I think some people will say the bus is even more important than taxis in this country because the bus is cheaper. Using the bus is cheaper and buses go everywhere in the cities. Like every single part of the city, there is a bus that goes, that reaches there. At every corner, there is a bus stop. You find bus stations everywhere. And the good thing about this is it's easy to know which bus to get on when you're going to some particular place. And I think I'm going to do something different. I'm going to share my screen and my Google Maps. I think what I should have started with is the Google Maps stuff. You have to learn how to use your maps because your maps is going to be one of the most important tools that you have when you want to look at transportation. So if you can use the map very well, that's good. If you cannot use the map, for these next few days, just try to see how you can get used to Google Maps. It might not be accurate back at home, maybe due to network or other things, but it's really important here because it's really going to help you. You don't need to know where you're going to reach the exact spot. If you can use your map, it's really important, your Google Maps, because if you want to get taxis, buses, or trains, your map is going to help you to know exactly where to stand, exactly what bus to take, because the buses have numbers. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to see if I can share my screen and my map. Sorry. All right, so can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your phone.
Yes, I can see it.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So, for example, if I want to go to, I'm currently in Liverpool. If I want to go to some random place, let me say Kensington, for example, and I search it on Google Map and my location is on. So it gives me the different options and the recommended routes to use. Like here, this is, if I want to take a car, they give the different roads. And if I scroll down, they can give me options to take Uber or whatever I want to. That's the duration. And the next option is for the bus. If there's a train that is going to where I intended to go to, it's going to appear here. So these are the different bus numbers. So if I want to go to Kensington, for example, I know that if I go to here, this is the train station, Queen Square bus station, sorry, the bus station. I know that I can get on bus number 12, 13, 15, or 18. Then other options, there is still 14, 17, 19, which goes to the same place. It's because along the way, there are so many stops that most of these buses will stop to either they drop people off or maybe get more people to go to different parts of the city. And when it reaches your destination, still with the help of the map is going to tell you that you've reached, you should stop at the next bus stop, you should take this option, and it's all available. This one is Google Maps, and there are other apps that are available as well. This is one that I use more often, the Citymapper. Citymapper works the same as the Google Maps. If I want to go to maybe Manchester, for example, from Liverpool, I love traveling. So if you're someone who likes to travel, it's going to be really important. So if I want to go to Manchester, I just type Manchester and I search. So it gives me all the options available. So here, this is the train station. They'll tell me to get on the train to Manchester, and they tell you the train to Manchester Airport. and when I should leave my house. If I have to walk and I have to walk for 20 minutes or so, right, you can leave your house within the next 10 minutes, then you'll be able to catch up with the bus. So this way it's really accurate. And one thing that it's peculiar is if the bus or the train leaves at 8 p.m., at 8:00, it leaves, except there is a delay somewhere. So time, when it comes to transportation, is really important when you're in this, when you come to the UK eventually. All right, so that's just like how your map is going to help you. Using the Google Maps, using the different applications that are available, it can take you to anywhere you want to go to. And even with the train, it tells you exactly what train, what time the train leaves, and the name of the train. And it's easy as well. You can either pay, if you're using the bus, you can either pay for per journey. If you're going somewhere, you can pay for a single journey, or you can pay for a ticket that is valid for the whole day, 24 hours, which means if you pay for 24 hours, you can get on any bus anywhere within the city, and you're not going to pay extra using that 24-hour ticket. And it's really cheap because it's just less than 2 times the cost for one way. That's the bus. Taxis are a bit more expensive, so we prefer to use the bus. And for the train as well, there is an app. There is an app that you can use to pre-book your train journeys. If you're somebody who likes traveling, it's going to be very important because the price for tickets for train are not constant. The further away from when you're traveling, the cheaper the train ticket. If I want to go to maybe London in 2 weeks and I book my train today, I'm probably going to pay half the amount I would have paid if I was paying the same day that I was traveling. That's something that is really important to know. Here, it's important to book your journeys before time. That way, you save a lot. And when you come here, there is an app that is very useful, Trainline. Trainline, all the train stations in the UK, they are connected, and you can pay for all your train tickets using Trainline. If I have time at the end, I might just show you how it looks like. That's transportation. And there are other means of transportation within the city. There's the tram. The tram is just like a smaller train that connects the city, goes between the cities. You have another thing, before I forget, the rail card. If you like to travel, go to long distances, it's important to register for something known as the rail card. With the rail card, you save it 1/3 on every trip of any journey that you take on the train. So it's something that is really important if you want to be traveling around. We're going to look at how we include that in the ebook as well. And then transport signals, they are very important because they respect them here as well. On your maps, you find them on the maps. I'm not going to look at that in details because you need a lot of these images. I will put them in the ebook. As for shopping, Precious mentioned it. If you want to go to any shop, your Google map will help you. If you want to use any supermarket anywhere, your Google map is going to help you. Just for example, so you don't need to know the name of a particular supermarket before you go to, or where, or to search online. If I want to go to any supermarket, I just have to search it on my maps. Supermarket, if I put supermarket around me, there's just so many options that you can see on your map. And in everywhere you are, there's going to be a city center, the main city center in that area, that you're going to have all these shops. There are shops on every corner. Close to every accommodation, you find a shop. And in the city centers, you find the bigger shops, and the bigger names that she mentioned, all the Lidls, the Tesco's, the Asda's, they are cheaper than the smaller shops that you find close to the accommodation. So you can plan for your groceries. For shops like Asda, you can do your grocery shopping online, and they're going to deliver it to you. Yes, she mentioned cycling. Cycling is very important in the transportation aspect as well. We're going to put so much details about that in the ebook. And then to look at the bank account options as well. So many people struggle when they come here at first because they don't know what to do and which bank account to create. Or maybe you go to a particular bank account and they tell you that maybe your account will be ready in a week or 2 weeks. I don't know what to do. Before you create a bank account, there is some things I should consider. First of all, if you know where you're going to live, look at the closest branch to your accommodation. You might want to visit that. You should look at the other options, the different things that the banks offer. There are some banks that offer discounts for certain services for students, of course. Most banks will offer just a basic account for international students. Okay, and some banks will offer extra services, some freebies. Maybe they'll give you some bonuses after maybe the use of some particular services. It's like that for so many banks. So many banks use this to trap people, but you have to look at all of those. And to create a bank account, the documents that you need, I think you have to show your photo ID, which in your case will most likely be your passport. There's going to be a proof of address, which could be your tenancy agreement, okay, and or maybe a utility bill, just something like that. And you're going to have to show something that proves that you're a student. It could either be your school ID if you have it, or there is a letter that the university gives. It's usually available online. If you go online to the student services and support, you're going to see all these things where you're going to see all these things so you can get the letters, the bank letter that you use for your bank. All right, so that's one. So the choice of bank, you have to read about those, look at the options that they offer, try to see how it fits with your finances and what you want to do. And then for healthcare and hospital, when you applied for your visa, for the funded students, they didn't pay, but for those who are self-funded, they have the immigration health social, which is like your health insurance. So when you arrive here, it's really important for you to register with a GP, a general practice. It's like a primary healthcare services close to you, because unlike what we have in most of our African countries and elsewhere, if you want to see a doctor, you would have to book an appointment. You have to book an appointment before you can get those. And to be able to do that, you would need to have been registered with the GP. I was forced to register with the GP because at some point I felt sick. I felt lazy at the beginning, but when I realized I could not get an appointment and you cannot just walk to the hospital, I had to do that. So when you reach, you search, you can search Google GP practice close to where you are, wherever your accommodation is. They're going to give you the options. And most of these GP practice, you can register online, which means you can register online and they give you a confirmation and numbers. Each time you have a problem, you can consult online. And if it's a serious condition, they will write you a referral and you go to the hospital. The GP refers you to hospital. You don't just go to the hospital, except it is an emergency. And if it's an emergency, the ambulance services work 24/7 and they are really, really responsive. The ambulance number here is 999. So if it's an emergency, you call 999. You're going to get an ambulance as soon as possible and they're going to take you to the emergency room. And like I mentioned earlier, the hospital works on it's an appointment-based service. If you have a headache, you cannot just go to the hospital. You have to book an appointment with your GP. And if slots are available, then you can consult for your headache, or they are going to advise you to get some first aid before you eventually consult. I had a sore throat at some point. I booked an appointment with my GP and they finally consulted me after 2 days. So 2 days before the appointment, you know how distressful it can be. That's just one of the disadvantages of the free healthcare system. It's always jam-packed with people, consultations and things like that. So it's important that you create that. And just use the last few seconds to mention
Thank you.
that, let me go to, there's one thing I had to show, and that will be it. Let me share my screen again. So everything is available online. Everything you can find whatever you want to find just by searching on Google or using your Google map if you want to go somewhere. This is the app Trainline. The closest train station, major train station to me is Liverpool Lime Street. If I want to go to Manchester and I search Manchester, for example, I just have to find time and places. So you see, these are the different times where the train would leave and the different platforms. So on platform 4, I'll have this, platform 1, platform 8. These platforms are very important because if you find yourself on the wrong platform, you're going to get on the wrong train or the wrong coach or the wrong bus, and you're going to find yourself somewhere else. It's really important when you're doing this. I didn't mention that earlier. For the bus stations and the coach stations, there is a platform for almost all of those. So for the train, if your train is leaving on platform 6 at 6:30, get on platform 6, 6:30. If you're on platform 7 and you take the platform 7 bus, you're going somewhere else and you get lost. We've been lost so many times because we did not know this. We just went and we saw 6:30 and you get on the train and you discover that you're going somewhere else. You have to start finding your way back. So it's important that you note all of these things, and like every information is available online. For train, we're going to answer all the questions at the end. Matilda, is my time up?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I don't, time is up actually.
I try to compress everything. That's fine.
Okay, so thank you so much. Tim, that was a great presentation. Thank you so much. Please, if you go through the chat, the speakers are making good contributions. So please take your time and go through the chat and you will learn a lot. I want to just make an emphasis. We have some scholars, that is some of our mentors, PhD, MSc, they're also with us. So I want to say thank you for joining us, Nina and Cole. We can see you, so we appreciate that you're here to support us. So thank you. And just to add to what Dr. Tim said, I remember when I came, I got missing. I got to a point I was like, is my Google map wrong? Or I don't know what I'm doing. So I had to use an Uber to get to my house. So please, it might sound funny, but please, this is an important section. So please, whatever you can get from this section, please get it. And if possible, ask questions and drop your emails or fill the Google forms so that we can give you information that will make your journey very smooth. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Tim. Yeah, and thank you so much. Our interpreter is also doing well. Thank you, Joshua. Okay, so our next speaker is Sipan Kambali. He's a PhD scholar, Kent Law School. Was also one of my PhD mentors. He mentored me for PhD, and I'm also a PhD scholar to be in September. So thank you. So he'll be speaking on university life, because coming from Africa and going to which is the global south, and going to the UK, which is a country in the global north. Academic lives are not the same. The way the modules are organized, what they expect from you. And in Africa, we used to exam. But over there, things are quite different. So we're telling us some things. And Tim, Sipan, please, you help us with our time here so we can actually answer questions. So Sipan, over to you, and thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you very much, Hejiro. My presentation will not be very long, because at the end of what I'm saying, I will be sharing some 2 handbooks, which are for scholars. The most important handbook for the majority will be the postgraduate taught handbook, which is a handbook that every master's student, especially international students, must read. I know coming from Africa, we're quite lazy reading documents, but I would urge you to read from page 1 to the last page, because your life as a university student will be contained in those pages. And I'll be sharing another one is for postgraduate research students. These are postgraduate PhD students. It's also extremely important that you read. I'll just give a brief overview or an overview of the two aspects of study, because I know that we are all going for masters or PhD or whatever it is, and there are no undergraduates, so I'll not deal with anything relating to undergraduates. Now, postgraduate taught students. The most important thing, even for postgraduate research students, is registration. And the best thing with the UK university is that for those who have been sent CAS or confirmation of acceptance for studies, you will actually be asked to register sometime this month. So you can register while you're still in your country. This is extremely important because it means upon registration, you have access to the university email. This is the primary means of communication. No one is going to write you letters these days unless they have to give you a hard copy letter. All the communication from the university will come through email. All your grades will come through email. And to access any university service, you need the login details that will be provided through the email registration that you have. That would be the most important point. And another, probably one of the first contact points with your university will be to collect your biometric card from immigration. So when you get your visa, you get this decision letter, which says you've been granted a visa, and it will give you directions of where you can collect your biometric card, and this will be at the university. So that would be the first point of contact with the university, probably. Then, of course, the university also communicates to you on where you can pick up your student card, because as part of this registration, one of the things that will happen is that you'll be asked to upload your picture. And that picture will be used to produce your student ID card. And as my previous fellow speakers have said, your ID card is extremely important. Even when traveling, some services will only give you a discount on production of your student card. Even buying things, even, pretty much your life will revolve around your card. You realize that your card is more than a student ID card. It is capable of doing many things. So make sure you know where to collect your card. Of course, with the pandemic, students are required to collect the cards from specific places. But when you are on email, you receive an email that once you arrive, this is where, or this is the place from which you collect your ID card. So these two cards, your biometric card, which is your visa, and your student ID will be very important. Actually, if you're going to reside in private residences that are not university owned, the landlords are required to check that you are legally in the UK, which means your biometric card will be important. They're also required to confirm that you're actually students, which means your student ID will be very important. So apart from those major points that I wanted to make about the importance of registration, please don't miss it. When you receive the email that you use to apply for your university place, make sure you register. The card is extremely important. You also need that card to access, even to register with a general practice. I mean, the card is really a very important part of you when you come to an economy like the UK that is very demanding when it comes to identity. So let me go back to the handbooks. Postgraduate taught students handbook. I will share my handbook from my university, which is to do with postgraduate taught. It's an old one. It's freely available online. It's the one that I could quickly access. but the general format is the same for all universities. I've looked at a few from different universities, the format is the same. And one of the most important aspects of these handbooks, and this applies to both postgraduate thought and postgraduate research, is a section called student responsibilities. In the UK, unlike perhaps in Africa or elsewhere, they're very strict with the law here. You know, in Africa, you can negotiate your way out of the law. But in the UK, if the law says X, it is X. That is extremely important. And for you, you need to know the responsibilities that you have as a student. There are many responsibilities. For example, relating to assignments. All this information will be in the handbook. General information and general rules about, you know, the need to submit assignments on time, how you actually be examined, the type of guidance that you can expect from your course tutor or your module convener on different aspects of examinations. So it's extremely important that you read the postgraduate thought handbook from the first page to the last page. It will also give you contact points for every aspect of your studies. You have to make sure you know who to contact. And in the unfortunate event that you don't do well in exam, there are procedures that you have to follow. For example, if you want to appeal. And there are procedures as well if you want to have your papers remarked, if you're not happy with a grade for any reason. Every procedure in this country is laid down in writing. You don't have to worry that you don't know. It's clear that these are the procedures that one should follow. So make sure you read your handbook very well from page 1 to the last page. The same thing goes for PhD scholars. PhD scholars, the handbook will specify your obligations as a PhD researcher. PhD is different, actually, very different from thought masters. A PhD scholar is pretty much independent. And there is a lot of work, of course. And one of the most important people in your life is your PhD supervisor. And it is a requirement in most universities, I think almost all universities in the UK, that there should be 2 supervisors. But the most important person is your primary supervisor. The handbook will also specify the obligations that you can expect your supervisor to be under and the rights that you have as a postgraduate researcher. And the same, read from page 1 to the last page. I've come across 2 unfortunate cases where postgraduate researchers have received letters of termination because of lack of progress. This is the most horrific, terrible thing that can happen to PhD students. And you really don't want it happening to you. And, you know, I happened to have had a chat with one of those persons. I was very surprised that the person did not even know what was written for those matters in the postgraduate research handbook. So please, 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 no matter how hard it is, read the handbook from the first page to the last page so that you know your obligations and rights. There are other common things like, for example, if you go to masters, that they are not very strict perhaps in Africa, plagiarism. There are very strict rules in the UK about plagiarism. And I'm a postgraduate, I'm a PhD student, which means I've sometimes my school asks me to tutor undergraduate students. So I know how the system works. These days, COVID actually has made it very easy for lecturers because they no longer need the students to submit paper assignments. Everything is electronic, submitted electronically. And that makes it very easy because every university in the UK has this software that detects text that is not of the student. And when I'm marking some of the undergraduate papers, I have to check similarities from this software, because not every similarity will require penal sanctions. Only those similarities that have violated university rules relating to plagiarism. I've actually never come across one case, because I always refer the doubtful cases to the professor in charge of the course, who will make the final decision. But I've seen and I know that this is a very serious issue. You can actually be seriously disciplined. If you're lucky, a few marks will be deducted. If you're unlucky, then you will actually be disciplined in a very serious way. So plagiarism is a very serious offense, and it's very easy to detect these days of electronic submission of assignments. The other thing that perhaps I wanted also to mention is this kind of support that is available in the course of your studies. Almost every university has very good support services when it comes to writing. For example, as a master's student, the level that is expected is far much higher than the undergraduate. So if you're having difficulties with structuring your long essays or whatever it is, there's always a student support services who are willing to do that, and all that information will be in your handbook. And the other thing that I mentioned at the beginning is always read your emails that are coming from the university, because no one will come knocking on your door to let you know what you're supposed to do. If anything is required of you, it will be in the email. So I'll be sharing the handbooks, as these are just models, they are old ones, but to give you a flavor of the kind of document that you should see. Some schools probably would have already sent you what the handbook is, but maybe others are waiting for you to register before they send you these handbooks. So without running into too much time, let me stop there. I'll be sharing the handbooks through the chat, and you can get in touch with me you can get in touch with me through Ejiro. Ejiro knows how to find me. She has all my contacts. And so I'll be sharing the handbooks. Thank you very much, Ejiro.
Okay, thank you so much, Stefan. That was a beautiful section, and we are indeed grateful to you. I know we're running out of time, but I believe we're actually enjoying this section. So thank you once more to Dr. Tim, Precious, and Stefan. Okay, before we get to Taiwo, which is our fourth speaker, I want to add to what Stefan said. I remember an example when I was doing an assignment. Oh my God, I wrote heaven and earth. I was like, oh my God, I have done it. And when I saw my results, I was humbled. Now this is it. There are certain things they expect from an assignment. So every assignment have like an expectation, a guideline. For example, they'll tell you originality, tell you citation, tell you data. So don't just do assignments and just do it out of your blues. No, there are guides. If you go to the module, or if you don't understand, you speak to the lecturer, you ask questions, just ask questions. Africa is not the global north. Please, culture shock is real. Different things, different direction, different techniques. So please, without wasting much of your time, as scholars, we are going to study, but please, we are first humans before we are students. So you should have networking. You should have a social life. You should communicate with people. Like when I was doing my my master's, I was into volunteering. I was meeting people. I was also so Mr. Taiwo will be telling us about networking, relation, community, your local community, your scholars, if you're in Shebni, Commonwealth, or any other body community, because you need community, you need people that you can speak with, you can fellowship with, you can be happy with. So without wasting much of your time, can I invite our nice Mr. Teheme, please, Justin. Oh, forgive me, Justin, not Taiwo, Mr. Justin, yeah, please. So he's also a Shebni scholar. He's from Okay, please just take over. Thank you. All right.
Hello. Sorry, Tihamin, if you don't mind, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear me. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So I have my stopwatch, so I shouldn't have a problem. Keep time. So quite a lot has been shared, and just like Eji rightly said, I will be speaking about like living in the UK and then the networks that you have available to you, the communities that you have available to you, and then the opportunities as well as maybe some shocks that you could face. So basically, I'll be talking through 3 points. So the first one is your unique communities, and then the second one is about the culture of the British people, and then the last one is about your social life and leisure. So talking about your communities and networks. So first of all, you are a student, so you belong to the student community, and then you are a scholar. So you also belong to a scholar community, the Commonwealth Scholars Community in your university, and then across the UK. And then if you're a Chevening scholar, you belong to the Chevening Scholars Community for your university and for other universities. So, I'm a Chevening scholar here at the University of Sussex, and I was able to connect with other Chevening scholars I'm from Nigeria, so I connected with other Chevening scholars from Nigeria who are at the head of me. It kind of gave me a lot of information. And I remember when I came, I was a little bit coming from the head of me. They had to like come out to help me because I arrived in the night, and then coming to a new country, my flight was in the night. I didn't know the direction, and so when I got on campus, it was a bit confusing. But my friends my fellow scholars were around, so those are one of the things you get your community from fellow scholars, and so it's important to make use of your community, make use of your networks, to reach out to people. Very important. Always ask questions and try to get help. And then as an international student, you also have a community of fellow country people. If you are from Ghana, you should have maybe a couple of Ghanaians in your university because the UK is quite diverse. And so you should find at least one person from your country in your university. So that could be quite anyway. So countries may have more people, and some countries may have like very, very few people in university, but try to find out. You could have international office to connect you with students from the country. It really helps. It really helps because you come from a common place, and it's always good to connect with someone. And then I would also advise that try to connect with people who are already on campus. Maybe those who are already students on campus, to get some information, to ask about accommodation, to ask about student jobs, because I did that ahead of time and it really helped me. I think I was one of the first people in my cohort to like start doing the part-time job, while others were looking for jobs. I already had mine, but that's because I had spoken to people who were already on campus and they like told me what to do. So people are your greatest resource, so always make use of them. And then you will have flatmates as well if you are living in a flat, and you could also ask them questions. It's an opportunity to also network, to also meet new people, learn about new cultures. And then I also try to reach out to my classmates, my course mates, even before resumption. That's me anyway. I'm always trying to reach out, and that kind of helped me, because having a relationship with people in your class also matters. It kind of helps you to settle down better. And then, yes, so I've spoken about opportunities. You get information. You could also get some help on your academics, because if there's someone who studied your course before you came, just like Ejiro said, hey, don't be too confident. You can get some grades that will shock you. So talk to people who are on ground, they will help you. It will really give you a soft landing. So secondly, I'll be talking about British culture. So the British culture is quite different from, I believe every location is different. I would say every continent is unique, and every country is unique as well. And then, British the UK is in Europe, and then maybe you come from Africa. I believe, if not everyone here is from Africa, you know. So the culture is quite different here, and to see people, to see some things for the first time, or perhaps to come very close to some way that some people live, could leave you in shock. I mean, people, there's a liberal culture here, very liberal. Everyone is free to do what they want to do, especially if it doesn't like harm the other person. So if you love to smoke, yeah, you could smoke. If you love to drink, you could drink. And you could see people, you know, I think Africa could be a little bit conservative, or perhaps I would say Nigeria is quite a little bit conservative, quite very religious as well. But of course, there are religious people here as well. And so people may not exhibit some expressions publicly, but they could do that here. I mean, you could see some dresses that in your culture, you could say this is a provocative way of dressing, but I mean, here it's expression. It's called being liberal. So get ready for that. And it wouldn't be good if you are seen to be like judging someone from maybe from the way they dress or from the way they talk. But they are nice people here. Like, I think politeness is a value here. People are really polite, and everyone is respected. I mean, I learned here that even literature is respected. Like, everyone is, I mean, people don't treat you according to your age. They treat you for being a person. So you go to offices, you go to stores, you are respected, you are spoken to politely. And then if you come from a place that is not, where people are not, you know, people are relatively less polite, you could even be in a shock. Why are these people so nice? And then that could also be a shock, but like a good shock anyway. And then for the fact that maybe you come from Africa and then you don't have a lot of Europeans living in your country, you could also be in shock to find yourself somewhere and they don't look like you. So that could also, like, you know, make you fear a bit, make you, you know, a bit shaky. But with time, you get used to it. I remember when I came, I used to be afraid of going to the parks because everyone was not looking like me. And so I somehow felt that maybe they were like looking at me, oh, who is this guy? Who is this guy? But then it wasn't so. They are very free people, like I said, you are respected. And so with time, I got used to it. So try to be cautious. The British people are really cautious. They don't want to hurt you. They don't want to offend you. So they are really polite, but, you know, they keep their distance, not to come too close, not to make you feel inconvenienced, not to step on your toes, I should say. So it will really be good if you learn that too, you know, just to like give people space and privacy and that. And then you would discover that you could have really good relationships with your lecturers. Your lecturers could ask you to call them by their first name. Your head of department will ask you, you can call me Richard. And yes, you call them Richard. You see people in the class call them by their first name and you're like, oh. I know that could be a little bit difficult in the beginning, but you could get used to that in time. So so respect people and try to interact as much as you can. You don't have to try to impress people, but it's like I said, it's a liberal place. Be who you are, okay? So far as it doesn't like hurt the other person. So if you come from Africa and you want to put on African clothes, it's fine. You want to speak like an African, it's fine. It's a diverse culture, so you are allowed to express yourself. And then lastly, I'll be talking about social life in Malaysia. So, the academic work here is quite tedious, so you will need some breaks. You will need to take a break sometime. And so this is very easy, you know, there are lots of parks, at least here in Brighton, there are a lot of parks. And for me, one thing that works for me is a walk in the park helps me, a walk through the woods, like what looks like forest, but not very dense forest like we have in Nigeria. You just take a walk and then your brain is refreshed. sometimes I take a walk in between classes or in between reading, and it really helps me to refresh. And then I'm in Brighton, and I'm lucky to have a beach, very beautiful beach. So I think during term times, I try to go to the beach like every Saturday, just go walk around, sit with friends, have a chat, and then the cool breeze from the sea kind of like washes away the stress from my head. So that is one way that I keep my mental health in check. Eji will be talking more about mental health. So I didn't know so much about mental health personally, or perhaps I didn't really, give attention to that. But coming here, maybe because of the pandemic, I really took time to take care of my mental health. So, and then after coursework, I started to travel because I really took in a lot of stress from the coursework. So traveling helped me to ease my stress during dissertation writing. So maybe I walk up to some point when I'm waiting for my supervisor to get back to me, and I travel somewhere, travel to quite a number of places, and it was really refreshing for me, and I was really energized to continue my dissertation work. So that kind of helped me. And then I also learned a lot about the UK through traveling. For instance, I went to Scotland and I felt like I was in an entirely different country. I mean, just so you know, the UK is like 4 countries, if I'm right. That's England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So these countries, you will discover they are quite different from each other. They don't speak exactly the same way, and it's really interesting. And then they have a few differences among them. So I think I'll stop here, which is more than 20 seconds to the end of my.
Thank you so much. That was very nice. That was enlightening. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Seheme. Okay, I want to mention something that got my attention. Please go to the chat. There are scholars and also the speaker dropping useful information. Please go to the chat. I saw something on jobs, lecture guide, networking, and also how to buy cheap items using Amazon student account to get free deliveries. So please, there are important facts on that chat. Please, let's take advantage. I want to emphasize on the point that the last speaker made. Okay, he said people are polite, and he also said we should learn to ask questions. Please, this is going to sound funny, but I think I should say this. We know that in Africa, at times, when you ask for direction, they will tell you, go like this, go like that, go like this, go like that. So, and yeah, it worked. But over there, things are a little more organized. They have their map and everything. And if per adventure you do not understand your map, there is nothing wrong in asking questions. I remember a day I was going to make a delivery. I told you I was into volunteering, and at a point I got, my map was not helping me. I actually got lost. So I saw some, I think, little girls playing, and I was like, hi, please, can you help me get to this location? They were like, oh, yes. Or they have to even show me a shortcut to get to where I was going to, and they were helpful. And I also met a postman, a DHL postman. He also, a Royal Mail, they're called Royal Mail. He also helped me to get to my location. So please, let's learn to ask questions. Thank you. Okay, because of our time, I will just quickly run through what I have to say. Mental health. So when I was in Leeds, I was international student rep. So I was a voice for international students. My class consists of Asian, North America, the Latinos. It was a mixed class. So we had different cultures, different characters, and different mindset, different perception. And so I find some of them wouldn't speak out. Some of them don't know how to speak out. Okay, so I remember a particular time when we got into, if I'm not mistaken, I think winter we have shorter day, longer night, right, Dr. Tim? Dr. Tim or Sipan, whoever is there?
Yeah, yes, you have the days, I think during winter, it gets dark by 4 p.m.
Yeah, so Yeah, so I believe by October, the clock will change and go 1 hour backwards, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Yes.
So I remember when we got there the first time, oh my God, around, I think it was 3 p.m. or past 3, the day became so dark. As it was so dark, I was like, oh my God. I looked at my time, I was like, what's happening? So I actually felt uncomfortable, but I'm a Nigerian person, so I can adjust. However, some of my friends that are from other countries, I wouldn't mention because I shouldn't mention it, but as an international rep, I actually check on them, talk to them. So I understood that some of them were feeling indoors. They were feeling that their days were wasted, that they could not do anything again because it was already night. So they were actually feeling depressed, feeling lonely. And to make it worse, I think the COVID, when you stay indoors the most, so it was actually not good. So please, you have, like Teheme said, you have friends, you have network. You have Zoom calls, you have Facebook. You also do what makes you happy. Like for me now, I had a friend that a Japanese friend went to do all those card making, using paper to make animals, making fun things, or go for acting class, something, or go out just social gathering, or walk, take a tour in the park, like he said, which I also do. So please, if you read and read and read and you don't have the time to relax or rejuvenate, my dear, your brain will get congested and nothing will stick inside. Don't forget, the learning method is not as it's in Africa. So please, your mental health is key. If you need to sleep, you sleep. If you need to see a GP is what general practitioner. Please do. Your health is also important. And also, I remember when I was ill a certain period, so I missed my classes. Please, these people are here to help us. They accommodate certain things. So if you know you will not be available for your class, let them know, especially when you know that you have an assignment, you cannot meet up with deadline, because this assignment will also affect your grades. So it's better they know that you are ill and give you like extra grace periods. Of course, they will ask you for a doctor's report. So please, all of our time, we are really running behind schedule. So I will stop there. But one of my mentors, Billy Chamberlain, said something. Budgeting is key. Please. When I came in newly, I had some friends from different countries that were buying food anyhow, eating out. Under 1 month, they realized they didn't have money because they didn't know that you can get these things cheaper elsewhere. For example, a friend of mine went to buy a winter coat that you can get for 30 pounds. You went to a shop and got it for 120 pounds. Please. You're not a worker, you are a scholar. You have a budget for the month. Or even if you are going there on self-sponsor from your parents, I believe there's a budget. So please, don't spend money anyhow. Know where to get certain things. They have what they call charity shops. They're also good shops. You can get good things, cheap things that I won't use new things. So please, let's be mindful of how we spend. Okay, so please, our Facebook audience, if you have questions, drop your questions. And I want to thank all our speakers. Precious, you were amazing, talking about how to get set for your trip to UK. Dr. Tim, how to navigate. Your speech was really amazing. Sipan, my PhD mentor, thank you. Of course, you're a lecturer and you actually spoke like a lecturer, so thank you. And Teheme, thank you for telling us that we are first human before we are students. So I think we're going to stop here now. But before I go to the question and answer section, I want to say thank you to the scholars and sponsors that make this occasion very possible. We have Kesta, we had Sikwan, we have other people that actually gave commitment to make this program very successful. So please, let's take advantage and learn what we need to learn. So if you have questions, kindly drop them on the comment section. And please, I just look at the Google form now. We only have 25 people that fill the form. Please fill that form so we can give you useful information, even the ebook that will be out, because we cannot tell you everything here. The ebook contains a lot of information that will be useful to you, which you can also refer to in the future. So please, it will be out at least by September. So please fill that form so we can have your information and send relevant things to you. So I think I'm going to stop here now. So Dr. Tim, question and answer section, and let's make it as fast as possible. So thank you so much.
Right. Thank you very much, Mathilde. And to every other speaker, thank you very much. I think it's been a successful event. It's been very useful. You're going to have something like this again, I think, from the different scholarship bodies. The British Council is going to organize something for Commonwealth scholars, the Chevening guys as well. But we decided to do this because we learned from our experiences the last time, and the information that they gave, they had just under an hour and they rushed through everything and we did not really understand, and we suffered when we reached here. And it's important that we get all of this, and whatever information, we're going to share our contact details at the end. We're going to share our contact details at the end so that you can get to any one of us at any time if you need any information, and we are going to try as much as possible to see how we can help. And we are going to start taking your questions. So if you have a question, you can either type it in the chat box, or if you're more comfortable, you can unmute your mic and you ask the question to either everyone or a specific speaker. It's all right.
There are some questions on the chat. Maybe while you're waiting for the question, if you can scroll up and just get the fish, you can get a lot of questions on the chat if you can go up. Yeah, I also identify some for you, make it faster. So yeah. And if
Okay,
you
I
also
have a
have
question.
okay, fine. That's
Okay,
good.
fine.
Okay, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed the session. So, it has been really impactful. So my question is about the quarantine and COVID related issue. I don't know, do people need to get vaccinated before they come, or just wait before they come, or just do it, when they arrive, and questions around quarantine. I don't know if there is any like a clear guideline on that. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, let me take that one. You don't have to be vaccinated before you travel. That's one. There is clear guidelines for people who are traveling, and there is this classification system. If you check the government website, it tells you where your country is. You have green list countries. There are countries that are classified as green list countries. There are amber listed countries, and there are red list countries. For people who are in the red listed countries, if you are traveling here, you have to go through a mandatory hotel quarantine, which means you have to pay. You have to pay for an accommodation, and you have to stay there for at least 10 days, and they're going to do the test on day 2 and day 8. So you have to pay for it before you travel. But for most African countries, except just a few, they are in the amber list countries, which means you can quarantine at home. So all you need is just to pay for your test. So before you travel, you have to pay for the COVID test, your day 2 and your day 8 test. It's standard for everybody that is traveling. So when you pay for that and you reach here, they are going to send it to you. You do it and you mail it back to the people, and they'll send the results. And if you want to go out faster, you can book for a day 5 test and do it. But most often, since you're just coming, I have to settle in. You do the payment when you come, and you do the test on the 2nd day of arrival and on the 8th day. And if it's negative from day 10, you can start going out. So there is clear guidance on that, and it's on the government website. And here, when you register with your GP, you can either your GP can either arrange for the vaccination for you, or you can use the website and you book for the vaccines. The vaccines are now available. You can book without even a GP's appointment. So when you come and you're interested, you can take the vaccine. Yeah, that's it. I think that should answer your question. All right. So there was another question in the chat. All right, Dr. Tim and Justin, you both mentioned your love for traveling. My greatest phobia is flying. What do you advise for someone that have traveled severally within Nigeria flying, but phobia is crazy and embarrassing? How do I handle flying abroad?
Can I say that, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I think you're my buddy. I hate long distance travel. I actually had an episode going to the UK. I had to take a diversion. In a long story, I felt sick when I was traveling, and they had to land emergency landing. So Tim, you're going to add to that, but I just want to just say this. I believe a travel agency, if you're going for either inter-travel or intra-travel, it depends. There are room for accommodations, as in things that you should let them know to help your journey smooth. For example, maybe you hit this crowded section, or you need to water, or you need to relax, or whatever. They are there to help you. Please just speak up. You need to speak out so they can guide you, because I don't think you can you go to the UK from Nigeria or Ghana with vehicle? I don't think so. Or with ship. If you use ship, you can take forever, right? So most definitely you're going to do a lot of flying. So there are ways to manage that. So Tim, so please you can take over from there. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. I think there is, it's something that so many people ask. It's common with some people as well when they want to travel using the road. I'll just have to mute the person whose mic is on. All right, great. So if you have to fly, like Ejiro said, you just have to make sure that you mention it to the agency or to the agent that is going to book your flight. If it's for the scholars, so the Commonwealth Masters, the Shared, the Chevening, they have different agents that arrange flights for them. And if you notice that they are going to make those special adjustments for you. And if you're scared of flying, what I do is you just distract yourself. They try to make it as comfortable as possible, because it's a long flight, of course. They try to make it as comfortable as possible so that you can have all these, you have all these services. There's movies. I think all the airlines, you have all these small screens and movies and music and music and options that you just have to distract yourself and sleep off at some point. And then if you're lucky, you wake up when you're landing, when you reach your destination. But it's just about trying to see how you can distract yourself, and make sure that you mention that there are different seating options when you're selecting your seat, because when these flights are booked, you can actually have a preference. You can look at the aircraft and see the type of seats that are available, and you discuss with your agent, and they can get you a seat close to the washroom. They can get you a seat close to the window section. They can get you a seat anywhere you want within the class of where your ticket permits. Yeah. Let me see if there is any other question. We have 10 more minutes to go. Job option for scholars. It's not just for scholars. For everybody who is on the type of visa that you have, the Tier 4 student visa, it permits a maximum of 20 hours of work during term time, which means after your term time, you could exceed. But generally, Commonwealth or Chevening, they'll usually tell you that if you have to get into some work-related thing, you should inform your program officer or something. Nobody actually does that. But if you're getting to work, first, before you start working, it's important that you have your school program. You see the way your program is adjusted. You see the way your courses are adjusted, how intense it can be. Then you can know how to go around that. In my university, we had lectures 2 times a week. The rest of the time, it was more of independent study during this period. And somebody could actually do some work. But for other universities, you have lectures Mondays to Fridays, and it becomes hard and difficult to work. So before you do that, make sure that you know the way your program is. You look at your program structure, and you see if you can work in between or during some specific period. So you can do that. But these options are available. And then the next one, several cheap ways. Volunteering is free. Yes. It's cheaper to travel within cities. There are many options. If you want to use the luxury options, it's expensive. If you want to use the regular one that almost everybody uses, it's cheaper. Traveling between, using the train goes everywhere. The train goes to Wales, the train goes to Northern Ireland, the train goes to Scotland. You can use the train and you go everywhere. And like I mentioned earlier, if you want to travel around and you want to use the train more often, it's important that you get the rail card. There's 26 to 30. You save 1/3 of the cost of the normal cost that you're supposed to go. So if traveling from here to London is £50, you save 1/3 of £50. It might look small, but when you look at your spending at the end of the month and you see how much you have saved from using that rail card, then you see that it's something that's really important. I use the rail card. I can't go anywhere on the train without using my rail card.
Dr. Tina, to say something. Please,
go ahead, please.
Thank you. Please, speakers, would you please turn on your videos, and you can also respond to questions, because
yes,
there's some things that Tim will not remember. So please, speakers, you're allowed to respond to questions. Okay, please. Thank you. Tim, go on, please. Okay.
Yeah,
fine,
I think I also saw some interesting questions here about working extra hours over 20 hours.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really not advisable, right? While some persons might do it and go scot-free, as a scholar, you should not do it. We don't advise to do that. It's best you take out your time to work 20 hours, and then after your term time, you can work as much as you can work for 7 days in a week if you can, right? You just have to be patient until you leave, you're done with your term time. And someone also asked a question about traveling outside the UK. Yes, it's really very interesting, because with your passport, with your BRP, your biometric resident card, you can actually travel to various, you can easily apply for, some Schengen visa to travel to other countries outside UK, like Paris, Rome. You can mention those countries, right? And it's really very easy, because your international office in your school helps you to get key letters you need for putting up your application. It's a very straightforward process. Because you're in the UK, the chances of you being denied is actually 5%, very little. Like, you always get it if you apply rightly. If you do not have any criminal track record or offense, you get your visa straight away. So you can actually explore that option once you get into the UK, spend some time, and then you can just apply for your passport. And please, if your visa is about to expire, you might get rejected. So you must leave more like 3 leaves in your passport page so you can get your visa stamped for access to other countries outside UK. Somebody was asking about job sites posted. So we have lots of job sites that you can actually use. We have one people always go to, what's it called again?
There's Indeed.
Indeed, thank you. So every scholar, thank you, Indeed. So every scholar, right, uses Indeed. Like, Indeed is your go-to place if you really you're looking for a job, whatever job you're looking for, be it care job, professional job, mailing jobs, whatever job, Indeed is your go-to. Also, we also have job shops in your school, right? So with job shop, you can actually get more pay for your time, because jobs, school jobs actually pay so much for particular kind of jobs in school, right? So if you apply through your job shop, you can get lots of opportunities. And another thing a lot of scholars really miss out from jobs is your school website. It has lots of opportunities, like lots of fund opportunities. I never knew I could get access to free fund, right? So I enjoyed lots of funds during this pandemic. All I just did was to just apply. And because in the past, I never interacted with our website, I'm like, oh, it's just school work and all of that. No, there are lots of opportunities for international students, from funding to international travels. Like, can get access to international travels fully funded by your school. These are the things people don't tell you, or these are the things people don't know. If they know, they'll tell you. That is why it's very important that you ask questions a lot, right? And ask the right questions to people, and know who you ask to. Also engage with your international office. They are very, very interactive. So once you reach out to them via email, oh man, they're very responsive. You can reach out to your school head and you get response in the next 24 hours or maximum 2-3 days. right? So you can ask them any question, request for any letter, request for references if you need, they will all give it to you. And good thing, we're going to be having all these hacks, like I said, in the ebook. So if you have not really placed your order, do so now. So once the ebook is out, you'll be the first person to have access to that. It's more like your own passport, like your passport to the UK and outside the UK as an international student. What other, yeah, budgeting. Someone has talked about budgeting. It's very important. Like, you must actually plan your budgeting rightly if you did not plan to fail, right? Little things like £1, £2, think, oh, it just comes by. They sap your money. They eat your funds without you knowing. And for scholars who are not yet working or yet to get work, before you think of an eye, you see that your stipend is gone, and you start thinking, oh, what did I spend my money on, right? It's very important that you budget. And we're going to be having some budgeting framework on the ebook that will be announced too. And what other questions? For volunteering, I would advise you that a lot of volunteering opportunity that you must have access to. And some of these opportunities can actually range from national, that's your locality, to international opportunities. Some might be paid, some might not be paid for. So it depends on what opportunities you're looking out for. So if you're looking for the long term, right, you have strategic offices, organizations, non-for-profits, especially, that can actually help you scale up your professional track record. And good thing about this is, lots of these organizations carry out free, not free, paid talk. So you can actually attend a talk and it's going to be paid for just you sitting on that platform and being in that meeting. You're being paid for it. So we have lots of opportunities that you can get a quick £100, a quick £50, a quick £30 at your disposal by just attending this particular event or filling up some Google forms in this place. So a lot of things are really worth your time. So if you invest in them, you get paid for your services, except it is actually literally within volunteering. So if you're volunteering and it's free, then it's free. But if it's paid, you can actually look out for lots of paid volunteering opportunities in the UK. I also talk about some motions, how to actually handle motion sickness. So of course you have different medicines you can use, but please, you can actually reach out to your doctor to get your own key prescriptions, or you go for patches. So you can go to any store, medical store, right, and get those patches. Those patches, you can place them beside your ears, right, or on your hands, like they serve as bands. So these things actually help you ease the whole motion sickness and stress while traveling. What other questions did I see also?
Precious, thank you. You've been amazing for time. Thank you. So the
We're running out of
and I close it. Yeah, just
we're running out of time. Let me see if there is one more. I think everything that Precious has said is really important, and
yeah, very
I'm
amazing.
sure by the time the audiobook becomes available, you have that information and more, and it's things that we need. There is a lot of questions surrounding the options to stay. All right, so the rules have not changed. The Chevening gives you the rule of you have to go back to your home country and stay there for at least 2 years before you try to come back. For Commonwealth, it's not defined. They tell you need to return at the end. And some people go, some people don't. You don't know how they do it. You don't know how the implications of staying beyond your permission, of course, but it happens. For others, like maybe the doctors, right? The medical doctors who are around, some of them take the opportunity during their program and they sit in for the PLAP exam, the exam that gives you the license and qualifications to work here. And after that, you can actually get a job. Like they say, the NHS is in need of so many doctors, so it becomes easy. So for that, we cannot say more. It's information that will be available for you when you go send an email to the international student advisory for your university. They're going to advise you on more. I think that should be the questions.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Right. Okay. Do you want to say something, Justin?
Just 30 seconds. So Joanna, I think Joanna has said twice. So there are churches here and there are mosques here because you have to worship. So everybody's represented here in the UK. I thought they were not churches, but they are really churches and like UK churches. So you you are safe on that. So, and then accommodation, I guess you could try to book the school accommodation and try to talk to the international office if you on the best accommodation to have. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you so much. I saw a question that said, can you get a PhD scholarship after your master's? Of course, I am a testimony. I did my master's Commonwealth 2019/2020, and now I'm going for my PhD 2021 to 2024. Yeah, so you can actually get a PhD scholarship after your master's, but you have to go out and search for those scholarships. So I want to say thank you to all our speakers.
There's one more.
Okay.
A hand is raised. Let's take that one. All right, Ogu, go ahead. You can ask your question, please. Let's round up. Yeah, Ogu Kelechi, I think. Ogu Kelechi, that's the name. Oh, she's thought. So I think the scholars should just type in their emails or maybe how they prefer to be reached, if you're comfortable with that, in the chat section, so that if anybody has any further questions about anything in particular, they can ask, and we're always available to get this information out to you. This session was recorded. It's going to be available on Facebook. We are going to send it to your email addresses when you fill the ones that you fill the Google form with. We're going to try and make sure that we send it to those addresses so that you can go through and any information that you need. And our social media pages are available as well. You can use those. Let me just type mine.
Okay, great. So please, before our speakers say their final words, so please, could you please drop your email or a way these people can reach you, please? And please, if you haven't filled the form, I will emphasize, please fill the form or the links that are attached to those chats so you can get useful information. So I want to say thank you again to Tim. Thank you, Justin. Apologies for calling you, pronouncing your name wrongly. And thank you to Precious. Oh my God, baby, you're amazing. Thank you to my mentor, Sipwan. Thank you to our interpreter, Joshua. You've been doing a good job. We love you. Thank you so much. And all our scholars supporting us on the chat room, I want to say thank you. So before we call it a night, please, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, or maximum 1 minute. Our speakers, can you please say something? So we'll start from Precious to Sipwan to Justin to Divine, then I'll call it a day. Thank you. Precious. Okay, I don't think she's there. Precious, can someone else just start, please?
Right. Who's next?
Justin. Okay, Sipan, yes, Sipan next. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this session, and thank you, Ejiro, for organizing this session with the others as well. Just to say, I think read all the guidance that will be provided. It is very important, extremely important. Pay attention to anything that you are asked to read or sent through email. Those are the rules. I mean, the UK is a place of rules. You don't negotiate or you don't bribe your way. I can guarantee you, you try to do that, you end up in prison. So pay attention to the guidance that you're given and be strict with the abiding by the rules. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin.
All right, dear man. So a lot of money has been spent on scholarships for you. And if you are self-sponsored, you have also committed a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there are lots of resources to help you succeed. That's one thing. UK schools want to help you succeed. There are some of those resources that you may never know until you ask. At every point, you feel like asking a question, how to write an essay, how to do anything. Sorry, even how to use the toilet. I mean, ask. All right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Matilda, Ejiro is off.
Yeah, Precious online now. Precious, please. Precious. Just 30 minutes,
Okay,
30
yeah. So,
seconds. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
thank you so
Closing
much
remarks.
for having everyone for having me particular on this particular show. And I'm very glad that we have a lot of persons. We have a lot of scholars that you go to persons. Please do not forget to network with key scholars here. We are always available to answer your questions, DM us, scholars, like reach out to us via any platform we provided. We're here to make sure that your integration into the UK is actually seamless and successful. And I hope you enjoy your amazing stay in the UK. Thank you so much, everyone. And don't forget to actually sign up for the ebook. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I will keep on emphasizing. Thank you, Joshua. Maybe Joshua should say something. Joshua, please, can you say something? Joshua? Yes, just say something. Thank you. Just 20 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. For those traveling to the UK, as for my deaf people, I just want to inform them that they should all abide by the instructions and the rules. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Tim, okay, over to you so you end the show. Thank you. So please, before I forget, please network. Yeah, close it, please. Please network, take advantage, exchange contact. We want to leave the chat open for the next 3 to 5 minutes. So please exchange contacts and get information. And please, most importantly, sharing scholars, Commonwealth scholars, all scholars, your body have rules, do's and don'ts. They are important. Please do make sure that you abide by them. So thank you so much. And Tim, you can close. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Matilda. I'm happy that this happened. When we talked about it from the start, we never expected this turnout. It's really been amazing. And I'm happy that we got to help some people. And talking about networking, if your school is somewhere around the northwest of England, northwest, that's Manchester, Liverpool, Chester, anywhere around there, and you want to hang out anytime, there's a lot of us here in the Northwest that we always meet up, Commonwealth scholars, Chevening scholars. You can always hang out. We are available. If you want to go for a walk and learn about the city, you should. 2 days after I reached the UK, a Commonwealth scholar here in Liverpool, a Commonwealth scholar actually took me around, showed me all the places in Liverpool before they had to eventually leave. So everywhere, and how to use the buses, the shops, the contactless payment and everything. We learned that, and other scholars helped us because we reached out to people. My email address is there. My WhatsApp is there as well. Any information that you need, if you're this way or any other place, we are everywhere. We love traveling, we're everywhere. So just get to us and we're going to actually help. So thank you, people. Network, this chat is going to be left open for a few more minutes for people to ask questions and send messages, and we're going to help. For those in Birmingham, Midlands, there's a good community there. The person asking, I think it's from Cameroon. There's a good African community in the Midlands. I think that's where you find the highest number of Africans in the UK. The Midlands, that's Coventry, Birmingham, Wolverhampton. That you find places there as well. And everywhere, it's so diverse. You find people everywhere that can help.
Sorry, I hear people talk about Midlands. What are the lands we have in the UK? Like, that's funny.
Okay. So the UK, you have all these different regions. All right, they have all these different regions. And for the Commonwealth, when your universities are classified according to the regions, they group them according to regions for networking purposes. You know, the northwest of England has the Manchesters and the Liverpools and the Merseyside. That's northwest. You have West Midlands, you have East Midlands as well, and these are just different regions where you have all these different schools. So it's when you reach, you're eventually going to know where your area is or the region where your school and your city is found. So that's something that.
Okay, since I'm here, I think I can ask you, what region is Bradford? Is it northwest?
Bradford. I'm not sure exactly.
Close to Leeds.
Close to Leeds. Oh, close to Leeds. It's towards the north. It's towards London, right? Yeah.
Okay, this webinar I think is officially closed, right? Tim?
Yeah, so you can
Tim?
stop recording.
No,
Any
no,
other-
our sign interpreter is officially closed. So yes, you can just dismiss him. It's been a long day.
Yes,
So
you can
thank
leave.
you so much.
You can leave. You
Please,
can
you
leave.
can leave now, Joshua. Thank you. It's officially closed. Thank you.
Yes, so stop, if you can stop recording, that would be good, so that any question that is coming in within the next 3 to 5 minutes is on
Okay, fine.
official.
Okay, great. So I've stopped recording.
Great. Amazing. We're just staying back to make sure that we see all the information that is in the chat so that we can address that once everyone is gone. Good. London, Brighton are in the southwest. Yeah, down south, as me and my friends call it. Actual's country code is +237. CSC scholar from Cameroon, University of Chester. So the person from Chester, I know a few people in Chester that can help you settle in if you eventually go there. Chester is like 40 minutes from Liverpool, so that's good. You could always, if you need any help, we could always assist you with that. You can send me a message. My contact information is there. There is a WhatsApp, there is a Telegram group. Matilde, what about you share the Telegram group link?
Okay. Okay. We have WhatsApp group for mentorship and Telegram group. So very soon we're organizing mentorship program for Commonwealth Masters, Commonwealth Shared, and Commonwealth PhD. So I'm going to share the Telegram group now, but we haven't started. But we'll start before the news section of news cycle of the scholarship opens. So let me share the link. Okay.
All right, my WhatsApp contact. This is my WhatsApp contact, +237. Let me type it in the chat again. 76243. That's my WhatsApp contact. Oh, sorry, I sent it to some. Let me send it to the general group. WhatsApp. I'm typing in my WhatsApp details, please. 37.
Okay, I'm about to share the Telegram group, so you can also go through them to join the group. Most of the mentors are there, so you can get information.
No, the group is not, it's not for anyone in particular. The group is open to everyone, so anybody can join.
Yeah, and I think Pasha can also share her Chevney mentorship group if she wants to. Pasha,
Yes.
if you're there, you can actually share your Chevney mentorship group link. Okay, I'm not sure she's there.
All right. Oh, can you, Tatiana, what can you do to regain the chat? Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to regain the chat, but you can ask whatever question you want, and we're going to help you.
Okay, yeah.
The recording will not show the chat, I'm afraid. You can just send a private message, and we're going to see how we can sort that out. Oh, somebody saved the chat. That's amazing. Sure, Justin. Thank you. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Oh, okay. Team.
Yeah.
I think Teheme is here, and Cautious is here. My school
Teheme
actually
left.
Oh, okay, great. I don't think, should I say this yet? Okay, no, I will chat it up in the group chat. I shouldn't say this yet, so
All right,
I'll do that in
perfect.
the chat.
That's good. That's fine.
So I think in the next 2 minutes, we need to close this chat. It's already
You can
long, yeah.
work. You can work while living off campus. You can work wherever you live. You just have to know how to get yourself to wherever you work. So that's fine. Whether you're staying on campus or off campus, you can work. Okay, Precious has shared that stuff. Yeah.
Ejiro, I think you said you mentioned my name just as I was walking out.
Yeah, I did. I would speak to you guys in the common room. So don't worry. This is meant for just the speakers only. So
all right, till then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, same. Don't you think we should close this meeting? Oh,
Give me a second, Ejiro.
okay, great. All right, fine.
Let me answer somebody's private message. Thank you to Sayoma G. All right, Matthew, I think we've addressed most of the things, and it's 8 p.m. The Premier League has started, so those of us football guys.
Great. Yeah, I've shared the link to the forms. Why don't you just ask? So I'm sharing it again. I'm closing it. So that's the form.
Abayomi,
yeah.
Abayomi, you can work virtually. If you're applying to work, you should have a bank account that is acceptable, because all that information will be needed. That's how they're going to pay you. So you can stay in Nigeria and you work virtually, but you unfortunately, I think you might need to have a UK address. If you're registering on Indeed, you can only register on Indeed with a UK address, I think. Yes, you could fill in the forms, and you get the Google Forms, and you're going to get the recording. Google Kelechi. Somebody saved the chat. You can see it somebody said they saved the chat and they shared their contact 09017707229. All right. All right. That's the link for the Telegram group. We're going to shut this down.
Yeah, thank you. We have to. We're going to need to shut
Thank you, people. It was good having you people.
Yeah. Same. Thank you. You're amazing. Okay.
I'm always amazing. I know.
Okay. All right. Bye.
All right.